and today we're going to make some shortbread jam bars. This is a cookie. Sorry, my cat.
Okay.
Hi, welcome to Earth Eats. I'm Kate Young. I love to make jam and I'm always looking for dessert recipes or cookie recipes that involve jam. So I can really enjoy these wonderful treats on something other than toast for breakfast. So today we're going to make some shortbread jam bars. This is a cookie that's really simple to make, usually with things that you have around the house. This is a service berry jam that we made out of service berries, also called June berries. It's really delicious. It's got the whole berries in it. This is some peach jam from 2018. This is some red raspberry jam. I like to make jam and can it, and then you have it all winter or maybe for a couple of winters if you're like me and you keep it on the shelf. It is shelf stable, so it will, once you can it, it will stay on the shelf. It's just a basic shortbread, and what we mean by shortbread is that it doesn't have any leavening in it. It's really just kind of a butter, flour, sugar mixture. So we're going to start with a half a cup of butter, and you want the butter to be softened. We're going to add the sugar, which this is a 1/4 cup of sugar. You just want to get it nice and creamed together. You're not trying to get it light and fluffy or anything like that. You just want to cream together the sugar and the butter. Scrape down the sides. You can do this with a hand mixer. You could do it probably with a whisk. We want to add 1/4 teaspoon of vanilla or more. That nice and blended. And this is 1 cup of flour. For this stage, you really don't want to overmix it. Just do it on low and just until it's combined. Stop it once to scrape down the sides. Everyone's favorite part of cooking with a stand mixer. And that is fully combined. That's how you want it. We need to shape this. We're gonna put a little flour on the table. Take out the dough. Cut it in half. And then roll one of them into approximately 8-inch log. And then lay that on your baking sheet, which you have already lined with parchment. And you just want to make it nice and even. This is probably the hardest part of making these, is trying to get these even. Give it plenty of space on there. And then you're going to take something like the handle of a wooden spoon. And you're just going to press a divot in there. You want to make it nice and deep because that is where the jam is going to go. All right, so you take those, and at this stage you want to chill it. So stick these in the fridge for 10 minutes. Find a place somehow. So we've got our dough out of the fridge. It's nice and chilled. Oven's preheated. One of them I'm going to fill with this service berry jam. Service berries have pretty significant seeds in them, but when they cook, they taste like almond. They give off this almond essence to the jam that's so good, and they're quite tender and fine to eat in the jam. Like, you don't notice them, they're not a problem. I like the peach, or you could do an apricot jam or a marmalade or whatever. I just like having the contrast of color. And then raspberry jam is gorgeous and delicious. Raspberries, red raspberry is probably my favorite fruit. something that my grandmother had growing in her garden, and it's just one of those taste memories for me that every time I eat a raspberry or raspberry jam or frozen raspberries, I feel like I'm taken back to my grandmother's garden. Sprinkle a little bit of sugar on the outside. These are ready for the oven. You don't want to overdo them because shortbread can get dry. Just keep an eye on them, check on them in 20 minutes. All right, so our cookies are out of the oven. They are not quite finished because they need to be cut. Like right now, you just have one big cookie, and we're gonna cut them into bars. And you wanna cut it while they're still warm. And you can decide what width you want them, depending on how many cookies you want. You can see that they really spread out from that bar that we had. They've really spread out, and the jam's kind of filled the area. Let's give it a taste. I'm gonna try one of these service berry ones and see how they turned out. It's nice because they have a nice crunch along the edges where they got browned, but then underneath the jam, it's still a little bit soft. So you get those two different textures. It's really crumbly like shortbread. Not too sweet, nice and buttery, but not oily at all. They turned out really nice. Thanks for joining us today. I'm Kate Young. This is Earth Eats, and if you had fun making these shortbread jam bars with us today, please share the video. And you can find us on all the platforms on social media at Earth Eats.